a lot of times people use multitracks and stems interchangeably in like vernacular, but that's not actually correct to use them interchangeably. They are different. So really, multitracks are the individual tracks. So if you have like 10 guitars, 10 drum tracks, 10 vocal tracks, and that's your session, you would send those 30 tracks off, and those are the multitracks. Now, stems are different in that they are a summed version of all of those tracks. They're summed into a stereo mix. So if I were to send the stems for that same session, instead of sending 30 tracks, I would send 3 tracks: a stereo left right of the drums, stereo left right of the guitars, and then stereo left right of the vocals. So,
or 6 tracks, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess 6 tracks technically.
And I mean, if we're talking technically, stereo is actually LCR, so you'd be sending 9 tracks. Because let's be honest, that's the truth. It's different. Okay?
Stereo
history of stereo. Look it up.
True.
All right.
Okay. Yes, but stereo, as we talk about it, is left right. We're not talking about true stereo left center right. Okay.
We just corrected people who use stems and multi-tracks. I figure we might as well set the whole record straight.
Do not use stems for multitracks. When if somebody says send me your stems, you need to clarify. Do you mean the multitracks or the stems? Because honestly, there's been a few times where somebody was like, "Hey, will you send me the drum stems?" I was like, "Yeah, here you go." And I sent them a stereo left right, and they're like, "Oh, well, where's the individual tracks?" I'm like, "You said you wanted a drum stem."
I mean, we've all made this mistake at some point in our career because we didn't know any better. I mean, half the struggle in audio is learning all the dadgum terminology. That's different depending on who you talk to.
It's true. It's true. But this is something that has become more of an issue in the last 5 years or so. Before that, they were commonly referred to. Everything was commonly referred to correctly. Multitracks were the individual files, and stems were like the submixes. But in the last 5 years, like for some reason, they've kind of mixed up, and people have been referring to stems as multitracks.